Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boy nerds and girl nerds. We are here. I am Jorisar, and this is a game from MLG Raleigh 2011's Open Bracket in the 5th round of 6 between two incredibly good Terran players on the map that is Xel'Naga Caverns. Now, over here in the top right, we have the player that defeated Gosu Gaming's Huang Xin in the 4th round to get here. Certainly no easy feat. He is the one and only Complexity's TriMaster, where MLG Raleigh was indeed his breakout tournament, and he's gained a little bit of attention from that because, frankly, he's just amazingly good. So I look forward to seeing what he's going to accomplish in this game. But of course, he has to get past this incredibly good player in the bottom left of the map. He is, of course, Sweden's own Gorilla Terran and Team Liquid hero. Not actually Liquid Hero, he is Liquid Jinro, spawning as the blue Terran in the bottom left corner. Now, Jinro is going through a little bit of a slump at the moment, but of course, never forget that this is the man that reached 2 consecutive GSL semifinals, and I believe in terms of GSL points, he is simply the highest ranking foreigner ever to grace the GSL. So definitely don't write this guy off, and when he comes back, it's going to be in a big way, and he's definitely intending on starting that with this game. So anyway, we have both players taking 1 gas and building their barracks. Nothing terribly out of the ordinary in this game so far. The mess game on Xel'Naga Caverns, of course, is very different to how it used to be when we used to have a lot of siege tank play around the choke points either side of the Xel'Naga towers, vying for map control, splitting the map in half, trying to harass the gold bases on the top here and the bottom here. However, as of late, Terran seem to have moved away from the typical marine tank or tank Viking compositions rather, and have quite simply moved on to other more interesting things. Typically Hellion play, but not always. A lot of mech play is quite favoured these days, but not so much with a pure tank composition. So we're going to see what these players do break out in this game. Both players starting a factory and getting their orbital commands, so nothing terribly out of the ordinary so far. We do have TriMaster just sort of moving around the map, scouting everything out. Jinro not being too worried, sending out a Marine now to take control of these watchtowers presumably, and possibly to get a peek into TriMaster's main as well, but either or at this point, given how fragile Marines are. We do have a wall off with a bunker going down over here for TriMaster. I believe Jinro walled off with 3, that's right, he walled off with the barracks first, but is now 3 supply depots. And this barrack is going to fly up, presumably do a little bit of reconnaissance, and this is a massive indicator that Jinro is just going pure mech. He has absolutely no need for that barracks. He has his factory up, the barracks has served its purpose, which is of course to tech the factory, and that's all he really needs it for, so he may as well use it for some scouting. In the meantime, we have a 1-1-1, oh, hold on, there it is. We have a 1-1-2 build coming out of TriMaster, so electing instead for some very, very quick double starport play, which explains why he got both gases so early, while Jinro still currently only has the 1. So this is going to be very interesting. Jinro starting his other command center. It's quite possible that TriMaster might be able to hit some sort of timing, some sort of Banshee timing perhaps with these 2 starports, but we're going to have to see what will happen. He does have, yep, a Banshee immediately getting started, although no cloak yet, from this first starport here. And we do have a Viking coming out of the other one, so it looks like we're just going to have a bit of a mixed air composition coming out from TriMaster, with that Viking accompanying that Banshee to try and stop any harass. Jinro, however, has this flying barracks and does immediately see the starport with the tech lab. He's going to assume that Banshees are coming his way and react accordingly. Let's take a quick look. Yep, the engineering bay immediately goes down. I wouldn't be surprised to see a turret in the middle of the mineral line, or possibly 2 either side of the mineral line as soon as that finishes. Jinro currently only has 1, no, now he's got 3 workers again on that refinery. So clearly he wanted those minerals for something. We do have the second command center about to finish, and we've got a Viking and a Banshee coming down the map here towards Jinro's base. We're going to see how much damage they're going to be able to do. Meanwhile, TriMaster does start Cloak, but interestingly, he got a Banshee out first before starting it, so possibly an intention of more Cloak Banshee play later on with multiple Banshees. However, given that the engineering bay has just gone up for Jinro, I'm really not sure how effective this is going to be. Oh, those missile turret does get one shot off. And we have the Viking coming up for Jinro. It does get the first shot off against TriMaster's Viking, and both of these starport units are going to have to go away. Tremendous play by Jinro there. One hero Viking taking out the entire air dominance, and that Banshee moving back there just to take a couple hits for that Viking so that neither of those starport units die. Very, very nice, thoughtful micro there from TriMaster. Meanwhile, we do have TriMaster taking his second command center, but we've also got Jinro looking for that command center timing with a couple of Hellions. So he's perfectly prepared, and in the meantime we have these Hellions harassing the barracks that landed in TriMaster's base. Unfortunately, that barracks really isn't going to get too much further because there are Banshees and Vikings about, so it looks like that the days for that are numbered. TriMaster's barracks, in the meantime, is floating over to the right here, just to see if he can catch any sort of Banshee or drop play, potentially coming out of Jinro later on in the game from the right-hand side here. So, taking a quick look, Jinro is retreating with those Hellions, possibly to give this one a quick repair and regroup before sending them back out again. Both orbital commands are now up. I suspect he's going to be floating that down to his natural at some point reasonably soon. But we do now have 3 Vikings and a Banshee coming out from TriMaster towards Jinro's base. It looks like he's going for round 2, and they are going to be joining this one more Viking that has been popped here, and it looks like he's going to see nothing in the natural, so nothing to harass there, and they're going to attempt to move on into the main, but there is a Thor here, and ooh, that's a massive shot that goes off of the Banshees. Those Banshees now not really looking in good health. Does Jinro have a scan? Those Vikings are in full retreat. He does have a scan. Those Banshees are going to get away out of scan range, though, but another scan does go down, and it looks like both of those Banshees are not going to live to fight another day. These 3 Vikings are in full retreat. Meanwhile, the 3 Vikings of Jinro are doing reasonably well, now accompanied with this Thor. Jinro reacting very well in terms of his build. When he saw that double starport play, he's going, right, you've got a lot of starports. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go Vikings and Thors. So this looks like it's going to be an incredibly strong composition. But we do have the Fusion Core coming out for TriMaster. He is deciding to go for that battle cruiser timing. I'm not sure when, but this is going to be incredibly interesting. I can't see this working too well because Jinro does have Thors and Vikings out. It's really going to take an awful lot for TriMaster to win with battle cruisers, but I am eagerly awaiting it because I always love to see battle cruisers and carriers and motherships used in games. Always good fun. Now it looks like Jinro is going to turn around and head back into his natural because some Hellions here. Forgive me, I missed that. Cleaning up some SCVs at the natural. Let's see how much damage they managed to do. Okay, so we do have 6 workers killed versus 2. It looks like TriMaster managed to get a couple of SCVs, but sadly not too many. Jinro possibly hadn't quite transferred everything from his main base down to the natural. And it looks like when the Thor popped out, he probably just gave his Hellions a few shots and encouraged them to run away. We do have Jinro now pushing in for a push of his own, and we have Hellion on Hellion action at the natural, defending those SCVs. Crucially, there's only 1 Marine in this bunker, so it's not actually doing very much damage, and the Thor might just waltz in. The Thor does indeed start taking down the bunker. In fact, both of them do, because they outrange it and they take down the bunker very comfortably. The Hellion's now going to come in and going to see if the SCVs are going to line up, but TriMaster wisely retreats into his base. It looks like he's going to have to sack that natural expansion. This is looking bad for TriMaster. Ooh, that orbital command is getting reasonably low on health. He needs to get some SCVs down here to repair it now. He needs to start pulling them from his main. He needs to pull them from his main, and it looks like... oh, there he is, but... oh, no. The orbital command does go down. TriMaster immediately puts another one down, but that is a massive waste of 400 minerals at a crucial point in the game. We do have Hero Battle Cruiser popping out now, and we do have all those SCVs that were going to repair the orbital command, repair the Battle Cruiser instead, and redeem themselves in terms of worth. Those Thors are actually going down to the battle cruiser, and the Vikings can't damage the battle cruiser fast enough. This is incredible play coming out of TriMaster. It looks like that 1 hero battle cruiser is actually going to do amazingly well, even though he still currently has 0 kills. I don't actually understand how this is possible. He's single-handedly driving the entire army of Jinro back, and it looks like Jinro really does have to retreat here. I really wouldn't hang around to watch the show, because those SCVs repairing the battlecruiser are just going to be a bit too much. He really needs to go home. So after a final pot shot from the Banshees, Jinro does decide to go into full retreat. He realizes he can't actually do much more. Still going to try and poke around just a little bit, but ooh, the price he's going to have to pay for that is a Viking. No, 2 Vikings going down for one of TriMaster's, and he really does need to get home now. So that battlecruiser being worth its weight in gold, I'm reasonably impressed with TriMaster's play there, but there's only 1 kill on it. Isn't that incredible? Single-handedly driving back Jinro's army, but pacifist battlecruiser, not actually wanting to kill anything. So we finally have the replacement command center being floated down back again to the natural, but Jinro has had a lot of mining time, and it looks like he's going to have a reasonable number of Thors popping out. We do have a Raven on the way from TriMaster though, which could be interesting, because with that battlecruiser out, it's useful to have point defense drone there, just to make sure that those Viking shots can't get to the battlecruiser so it has time to do its damage. We've also got Orbital Command going up again at the natural for TriMaster, but in the meantime Jinro is fancying a little bit of a push of his own. He's really not taking any prisoners here, and he's marching out with more Thors than he did last time. Hellions going the other way to attempt to harass. It looks like they're going to need these Hellions at the watchtower, but Jinro in better position this time, and TriMaster goes into a full retreat with these Hellions. Back into the base where the battlecruiser, Mommy Battlecruiser, decides to watch over those Hellions and make sure they're not going to do any damage. Jinro, however, has brought several SCVs with him this time, and it looks like those SCVs are going to repair the Thors. He's looking at Jinro and saying, if you're going to repair, I'm going to repair too. And this battlecruiser is taking an awful lot of damage. Point defense drone needed to go down, but it looks like it didn't, and that battlecruiser does actually fall. This could be a massive, massive problem for TriMaster, who effectively only has Hellions left on the ground. A tank does pop up, but it doesn't have siege mode, and it looks like it's going to go straight into the Thors as some sort of sacrificial offering. This is looking pretty bad here for TriMaster, and he immediately taps out, knowing this Thor Viking composition is just too much, and his double starport play is going to get positively thwarted. So a very interesting build order coming out of TriMaster there, and incredibly creative battlecruiser play, pushing back that push from Jinro beautifully, but unfortunately it's just not strong enough to stop this pure mech build that Jinro did, where he completely bypassed siege tanks altogether and went straight Thor Viking as soon as he saw that double starport play coming out of TriMaster. So very good thinking there, very good strategic decision making by Jinro, and we'll see what happens in Game 2 between these two monstrous Terran players. Don't go away.